From watching all those newly minted vice chairmen who aren't even 40 yet, they know how to use their database. They know how to leverage their social media. That's been proven. I mean,
see, I think if you're a bulldog negotiator, you should be a chief administrative officer. You should be a lawyer. If you're a broker, you need to be a deal maker, because you don't get paid unless you make the deal. Now, that's not about giving up things you shouldn't give up, but it's about knowing which levers to pull. It's about...
We want a 2-day negotiating program. We're interviewing you and some of your competitors. I said, we need to do a whiteboarding session. They said, what's a whiteboarding session? It's nothing more than we'll have a whiteboard, we'll ask you a bunch of questions, and then we'll get your proposal. By the by, how many of those proposals did we get? All 3 of them. My secret sauce is the whiteboard. It has helped me win more assignments. I can't tell you how often I'm hired by...
But messaging is really the consolidated version that you can explain to somebody, because you might have a very detailed idea or concept, but when it comes to actually selling the product or selling the brand, it needs to be simplified, because a brand is like what we heard, a perception from somebody else. So we have to be able to explain it to somebody beyond what the product is. Next is the visual.
ABC, right? The space structural rating, and what that was views, elevation in the building, location on the floor, the efficiency, the bay depth, those kind of structural characteristics of the space. And we categorized those or rated those from A to E. So A being the best space, E being the worst space from a structural standpoint. A being, top of the building, great views, lobby exposure, great improvements, bay depth, etc. An E would be, second floor, looking into the garage, in bad condition, so that would be an E space. Then the third criteria was space condition. Existing layout, ceiling, lighting, walls, carpeting, reusability, again, rate that A to E. So thus a rating for the best space in your building would be AAA if you had an A building. If you had a B building, it would be BAA. And then the worst space...
Economic comparisons. I will then have in there size of firm and existing relationship. That's part of the agenda, because I want to be able to handle those issues when we get there. So that's in the agenda phase. Understand the expectations of all the participants. This drives me crazy. Dennis is my point of contact, all right? You're the guy I've been talking to. But Bruce and Jason show up at the meeting. I've actually seen meetings where I make the bulk of the presentation to my point of contact. I've seen in some presentations where the guy feels to go over and say, Bruce, I know that you're going to be on Mike Lipsey. Here, shake my hand. There you go. You're in finance, right? We're going to be talking about a bunch of things today as it relates to y'all's relocation. We've thought that we should use a discount rate around 10 or 11 as we start comparing leases. Is that the right number, or what would you like to see us do?
That's right.
Let me ask you this. As we start doing the comparisons, would you like for us to send copies of our work so you've got a feel for what's taking place even in the early part of the search?
Please.
And I need to make sure I get your business card. Mike Lipsey, Jason, I'm looking for... You're the person that's actually occupying the space, is that correct? That's right. And as explained to me by Dennis, that in and out parking is really essential and very important to you. Is that correct? Yes. You're going to have how many salespeople when you first move in?
A dozen.
But I understand that number could grow in the next couple of years. Is that right?
Yeah.
And that could double? Yeah. And that in and out parking even... Why am I doing this? Why am I, as I see there's 2 or 3 other people that have come to the meeting who's not my point of contact, here's my point of contact, why do I want to take the time to do that?
Trying to find out,
make them feel involved.
Well, yeah, first I want to
know who the players are.
I want to know who
they're going to impact on where you're trying to go with this.
But I also want to speak their language. And I want to make sure that I develop a rapport with these individuals which is different than the others, because others will come in, hello, hello. They won't drill down. They'll present their presentation, no customized agenda, and you're a little lukewarm.